Hello everyone, and today I'm sharing 22 metrics that you must measure from your e-commerce store in 2022. So let's get started. The first category of metrics is store performance. So this is where we are looking at your store itself and how it performs. So as you can see on the screen, I've picked 4 metrics in this category. The first metric is average order value. Now this is the average ticket size of people who order on your store. And there is no industry standard average ticket size. It all depends on what you're selling, what your audience is, and what kind of ticket size your products are priced at. But I'm going to assume for this video that we have a store, which is an example store, which has $100 average order value. So anyone who comes in the store on an average would buy products worth of $100. Now with this metric, of course, you want to push it as high as possible. The higher the average order value, the better. But of course, based on your product, your industry, there is a range that you're going to be playing at. You might come down a bit with discounts. You might go up a bit with people adding multiple products to cart if you have a multi-product store. But on an average, I'm going to assume that you have a $100 average order value, just for the sake of this example, so that we can discuss the other metrics and also put a few benchmarks on the other metrics that we discuss. The second is conversion rate, which is basically if 100 people walk into your store or come to your website, how many of those buy from you? So that's the conversion rate. If 2 people out of every 100 people are making a purchase, that's a 2% conversion rate. Now here we are talking about the purchase conversion rate and not about other conversion rates, which could be, for example, a newsletter sign up conversion rate or add to cart conversion rate. So we are specifically talking about the purchase conversion rate. So if you're a $100 AOV store, and in most of the industries, you are expected to have at least 1.5% conversion rate. Now, the reason that you should have a stable conversion rate first is because if you're driving traffic to your store, let's say through paid acquisition or through ads, then you want the traffic to convert. You want to make the most out of the traffic that you get. So this is a key metric that you'll have to stabilize. Now take all of these numbers with a pinch of salt because it all depends on your store. Every store is different, but you want to get to a stable conversion rate. You can study your peers and industry standards. For me, if I have a client who has a $100 AOV, if I don't have them at a 1.5% conversion rate, I'm not going to be growing or scaling my ad budgets until that happens. So we're going to focus on the CR experiments first until your store has a stable conversion rate. So once you have a stable conversion rate, you're also going to look at 2 other metrics for store performance. So one, I have repeat revenue. Now this is basically revenue from people coming back to your website. Now we are moving from acquisition to retention or repeat revenue in this case. Which should be above 30%. So you're looking at a store where you get 100 people to the store, and 30% of those people should come back. Now again, there are many stores which are selling products where people may or may not need to purchase the product again, or it could be a huge one-time purchase that people make. So it all depends on your store, but usually in many industries, we look at a 30% repeat revenue rate. Now, you might be in the initial acquisition stage of your business where it may not matter to have a repeat revenue because you are just focusing on getting people on the top of the funnel. And initially, I would say if this is your first year in business, you might have a repeat revenue of under 10%, and that's absolutely fine. You're in your acquisition phase. But as you mature, you want to get this up from 10% and you want to target a 30%. This is also why a lot of email marketeers focus on getting at least 30% revenue from email. And email, while it does help in acquisition as well, is a very good channel for improving the repeat revenue. So we're looking at 30% here. The next is the page load time. Now, this is so important because the faster your website loads, the better it's going to be for the conversion rate, and it's also going to be beneficial for your ad algorithms, for your Google ads. So the faster your website loads, and this is a key metric for store performance, and we are looking at anything below 3 seconds. So if your website is loading, it's taking more time than 3 seconds to load, you're going to look at your page load time and see how you can optimize your page speed. So those are all your performance metrics. Now let's go to the store growth. Now store growth, I've picked 4 growth metrics: the number of visitors, the audience, the orders, and revenue. And what's more important is we are looking at the growth, the delta, the change in these numbers. So how many visitors are you getting on a month-on-month basis and how that's increasing? So this month I got 10% more visitors than last month. That's your visitor growth. Audience growth. Now, audience versus visitors, what's the difference? Audience is people that you have data of. So let's say if you convert visitors to email list, that's your audience. If you convert them to become fans of your Instagram or Facebook, that's your audience. So you want to convert visitors to audience. So you also want to track how your audience is growing over time. Your email list, your fans, your followers, all of that is your audience. Your orders growth. So you got 100 orders this month, you got 120 orders next month, you have a 20% month-on-month orders growth. So you can calculate your orders growth, and of course your finally, the most important, your revenue growth. So this is how your revenue is increasing in line with your visitors increase and audience increase and the orders increase. So that's your store growth, and those are the 4 metrics in your store growth category. Let's move to the third category, which is the conversion funnel. So in this case, we are looking at the entire conversion funnel. So people come to your website, they check out your products, they add a product to cart, they enter their contact, shipping, and they check out. So the entire conversion funnel. And what are the kinds of metrics that we are going to look at here? So the first metric for the conversion funnel is the cart abandonment rate. So you're looking at anything less than 70%. So you're not looking at an 80-90% conversion cart abandonment rate, sorry. So cart abandonment is basically out of 100 people, how many people are leaving behind products in their cart? So if out of 100 people, more than 70 people are leaving behind the products, then there's an issue, and you need to look at your product page, the whole process from product to add to cart, and what's happening there after people add the product to cart, and why would they leave the products in their cart. So you're targeting anything under 70% here. Bounce rate less than 50%. So 100 people land up on your website, at least 50 people should click on another link on your page. So usually it should be the add to cart link, or looking at another product page and then adding that to cart. So you want people to go from one page to another. A bounce would be anyone who comes on a page on your website and then just leaves the website without taking any action, without clicking on any other link within your website. Next is time on page. Now this is around 2 minutes. This is the time that someone on an average would spend on your store. So you're looking at around 2 minutes. And there are some stores where you have a low price, low ticket size sort of a store where people could make a purchase within 1 minute. And that's very common for, impulse buying decisions. People are buying from their phones. They look at your catchy product on the feed and they could definitely make a purchase in a minute. But usually it would take 2 minutes to complete the entire purchase cycle. And that's what we are targeting here. The pages per session is the next metric in your conversion funnel. Should be around 4. So people are looking at 4 pages to make a buying decision or a purchase, and that's the number that we're looking at here. So for example, the product, the cart, and then a few checkout pages. So let's target around 4 pages per session here. Next is product list CTR. So what's your click-through rate of your product listing? And that again, we are looking at somewhere more than 60%. So if it's less than 60%, you want to work on your listing and see how you can optimize it. The product page to cart rate around 10% is what we're looking at. So people who go from the product page to the cart page we are targeting at around 10%. Cart to checkout rate. So product page to cart rate, of course, you can also think of this as anyone who clicks on add to cart should be around 10%. Cart to checkout rate is where you have added to the cart and now you start the checkout process, which is where you have all your shipping, address, contact information, payment. So you've started the checkout process after adding a product to cart and not just abandoned your cart there, around 70%. And checkout completion rate, so you've completed the checkout, which you've made the transaction at more than 60%. Now, of course, this percentage that we're talking about of checkout completion rate is with reference to the number of people who've started the checkout. So if 100 people have started checkout, you want 60 people to complete checkout. And 40 people you might lose as a leak in the funnel at that final stage, which is normal. But if you're losing more than 60 people in that stage, then it's a problem. Then you need to look at your checkout process. Is there a payment issue? Do you need another payment gateway to improve that process? Those are the kinds of things that you need to look at. So those are some of the metrics that I would track this year for the conversion funnel. Next, we are going to move into store marketing. Now for store marketing, I've picked 3 metrics: the organic traffic, the organic conversion rate and the paid conversion rates. For organic traffic, you're looking at anything above 30%. If you have too much dependency on paid traffic, you're getting 90% of your sales from paid traffic. You want to see how you can build and grow your organic presence. How can you grow the traffic from organic channels? So that's where organic traffic comes in, more than 30%. Overall, you're going to see the business has a better bottom line and better margins when you have more organic traffic. So you're not paying for that 30% of the traffic. So the older you are, the more mature your business is, the more your organic traffic is going to be. And if you're very, very small, and if you are very happy with 10 visitors every month, which are all organic, then you need to actually again consider improving your paid funnels, because now you're losing out on a lot of sales that you could potentially get from your paid traffic. So organic traffic should be at least 30%. Next is organic conversion rate. So if we are looking at a 1.5% paid conversion rate, then the organic conversion rate should be 3% or more. Now, in my experience, the organic conversion rate is in most cases like double the paid conversion rate. So if you have a 1% paid conversion rate, you need to have a 2% organic conversion rate. Of course, organic traffic could convert much better than paid traffic, but if you're doing everything really well on the paid traffic side, you can expect 1.5 and 3% as the conversion rates from those two. Finally, we have the ROI. Now, this is what every business owner is looking at. The first is your gross margins. We're looking at gross margins at above 60%. Blended ROAS for this year, I would say 2.5x. If you're doing, if you're growing and scaling your ad account, you can still expect to maintain a 2.5x after all of the iOS tracking changes and ad algorithm changes. This is a decent target to have. And ROM, which is a return on marketing, of at least 3x. So all of your marketing spends, including your ad spends, and whatever amount you've spent on SMS marketing and influencer marketing and so on, and how much return have you got on your entire marketing spend, is your return on marketing should be at around 3x. So those are the 3 ROI metrics, and those are all of the 22 metrics that you must be measuring from your e-commerce store in 2022. And those are all of the 22 metrics that you must be measuring from your e-commerce store in 2022. So I hope you found this video useful. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Also, leave a comment if you have certain numbers that you would like to share for your store and how you plan to improve those metrics this year. And I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.